Hey guys, I was actually about to edit this Q&A and about to put it up on YouTube when I came across this question, but this actually came from Google Plus, like the Google Plus connection that goes on, with YouTube and all that. But this is from Simply Deep 504. My bad. Have you ever played any Dead or Alive games? Yeah, I have, and I don't really enjoy them much. Especially the fact they have the booby bouncing simulator for the old PlayStation. They're just not that fulfilling to play, and I don't know. I just didn't really have a good time. They were fun for a while. Of course, everybody gets Kasumi. She's the funnest one to play with, but the whole plot throughout the solo mode is just pointless. But no, I don't really have much fun playing them. But guys, from now on, if you want to send me questions, by all means, please send it to me either YouTube or on Twitter, because I'm not gonna get it if you send it to me via the comment section, because I don't usually read those. Occasionally, I do send messages, but I don't, for question wise. There's a time that I might miss it. So just in case, send them to me via YouTube inbox, because it comes directly to me. It comes to my phone, so I know that I'm going to get it, as well as on Twitter. So just to let you guys know. But here we go. Let's get started with Q&A number 108. What is up, guys? Nature Girl 30 here. And this is another mini Q&A. And guys, thank you so much for sending me questions. And as for those that have not sent me questions before, I have gotten a few new subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing to me. For those who are the first time seeing this, like first time ever, you send me questions, I answer them, and at the very end of this Q&A, you will be credited by having a special shout out towards the end of the credits as my love for y'all, and a big thank you for y'all for sending me questions for all this time. It has been a few years, and so thank y'all so much. I have done about 108 of these, I think, so far. And you guys, thanks so much for sending me your questions and continuing to send me questions. Even though these actually do come out late, I will do my best to try to get these out as quick as I can when I have the time to do it. But let's get started with the Twitter questions that I have from Real Harold. Real Harold's first question is this: how bad does Nature Girl 30 think John Cena will bury Kevin Owens? I really don't think he's going to bury Kevin Owens. I don't. And let's be real, John Cena is not the type of dude to take a fall if he don't believe in you. Seriously. If he doesn't think you have a shot in the dark of becoming a real champion or becoming a real superstar, he won't put his neck out for you. But it also shows with Daniel Bryan. He gave a great match with Daniel Bryan, even though in the very end, Daniel Bryan beat him. So, hey, he will definitely lay down for somebody he thinks is worthy. People are like, oh, John Cena will never lay down at all. No, he'll lay down for somebody he thinks is worthy. And I really think, even though it was somewhat of a chuckle that he went out there live to do his promo and it went badly, in my opinion, I really think that he knows who this guy is. Everybody pretty much knows Kevin Owens from, I think he used to be Kevin Steen from ROH, and I think he's familiar with who he is. You can kind of tell when John Cena was staring at him how excited he was, as well as kind of you try not to laugh because of the mistakes. But regardless, I think he's not going to fall. I don't think that John Cena is going to bury him. I think it's going to be a great match, and I really think that Kevin Owens is going to get over in the WWE. I really believe that he is. So this might be a completely different thing. So I really think for Elimination Chamber, that's going to be on the 31st, I think that the match with John Cena is going to be well, but I think John Cena is going to lose. And I think that Kevin Owens is going to take the title from him, which is fine by me because it really does need to change hands. And even though Rusev and John Cena's feud did his job of making the U.S. title bigger than it was, I think that Kevin Owens is going to do something for the belt. That's just me. But I think that Kevin Owens is not going to be buried. Your second question for me is, did Nature Girl 30 know that Real Harold is not happy that Nature Girl 30 never played a Kingdom Hearts game? I'm sorry if it bothered you, my bad, but on the real, no, I don't really play Kingdom Hearts. I'm kind of Disneyed out, to be honest with you. But honestly, there are times that you like get so into Disney and then you have so much overload that you're just like, wow, I need to take a break. But because it's awesome. But besides all that, I have been into Final Fantasy, but I don't have a PS. I don't have a PS4. I don't have a PS Vita. I don't have anything PlayStation or Nintendo based anymore. Not since the 1980s. So that's the reason why I haven't played it. Same thing with Final Fantasy. If I get an Xbox One, I am thinking about getting the Final Fantasy game that's going to come out there. I haven't played it so long, but I don't know. But I might go back to playing it, but I'm just not into RPGs. I wish I would be, but I'm not. I just don't have the patience to figure it out. I mean, but there's going to probably be one RPG is going to come along to where I'll become extremely addicted, but so far I haven't really found it yet. But I might go back to it. But yeah, but like I said, yeah, that's the reason why I haven't been into Kingdom Hearts, because I don't really have the PlayStation to play it on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But my bad if I make you mad. And your third question for me is, what does Nature Girl 30 think of Bill Cosby? Look, after all these allegations, after every comedian has practically slammed this guy and threw him in the mud, here's my opinion of it. I still love Bill Cosby. I still think Bill Cosby's awesome. I remember the Cosby Show back in the day and how Thursday nights were literally written on your calendar. And you had to make sure, this is before DVR, people. This shows how old I am. Before DVR. And you had to literally get your VCR set up and ready to make sure you were able to record the Cosby Show if you had to work that night or if you had to be somewhere else. Because for me, I had Girl Scouts, and sometimes I had to miss the Cosby Show. But I made sure I recorded every episode I could record. But regardless of that, I still love Bill Cosby for what I remember him for. His comedy as well as his shows. They were great. They still are great. You can say whatever you want about him. It's all allegations, and until we got some hard evidence in our face, I'm not going to believe the hype. I still love that guy. I still think he was a great performer. And I'm going to end it at that. Seriously. But thanks for the questions, man. And let's move on to the questions that I have via YouTube. First set of questions comes from Dustin Nunn. Have you ever played the Sega Dreamcast? I actually have one. Well, had one. I gave it to my nephew, and he's kind of having it collect dust. The only game he plays on is anything Sonic related. But yes, I had a Dreamcast, and it was fun. Honestly, I've had a blast on Dreamcast. My favorite game by far is Sonic Adventure 2. By far, I love that game. I really do. Yeah, it has some flaws. Yeah, the plot didn't make sense. But either or, it was fun. It really was. I also had House of the Dead. I had House of the Dead 2 on there. There was a lot of games that I had on there that was so much fun. And honestly, that the Dreamcast was pretty innovative and creative for its time. It really was. It was the first system that actually went online. Well, probably one of the first. I don't know. It was probably one before that. But the one that I remember is the Dreamcast actually playing it online. People play Phantasy Star Online. For me, it was always Sonic Adventure. You were able to go online and get some things off of the website. It was actually pretty cool. But that was before we had DSL and cable modems. We actually had dial-up. Yeah, you can tell how slow things were around that time. But regardless, yeah, that's how it was. That's how it used to be. But yeah, man, great system. It's a shame that they had to stop making it because they had really fun games. Crazy Taxi by far was hilarious and a fun game to play. I think people said that Channel 6, Space Station 6 or Space Channel 6, that rhythm game was fun. I don't know. But for me, it will always be anything Sonic related. But that was a great system, and it's a shame that it's no more. But great question, man. Next set of questions comes from Final Limits. What new episodes from season 2, Girl Meets World, did you happen to enjoy the most? It was always fun to see Sean there. And there's also, like, I think the last one that I just saw, the fact that Sean came back to, I think that they got everybody together. Sean came back to actually come and dig up the old time capsule that they had in the back of Feeney's yard. I think that was great. The one thing I'm kind of happy about is the fact that they just kind of got rid of the whole love interest thing. I'm really happy that they did with Lucas because it was just way too early, way too soon. While with Topanga and Corey, it took his time. And yeah, it was great kind of hearing about Angela because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a fan of Angela, but hearing that she still existed in that world and they brought her name up and seeing her make a return and how she looks now is something I'm kind of interested. I can't wait until they'll probably do it for the season finale of season 2, but by far I would love to see Angela show up again. Like I really would, just to see how it's gonna all turn out and see how Sean's gonna react. And even though he's still head over heels in love with Angela, I would love to see how it's gonna end. But anyway, yeah, I would have to say that the last show, especially, it shows how badly Maya wants him to be her dad. So it was kind of nice, but then it has to be understanding about that too. But regardless, that was a great episode. What did you think of the new kid on the show? The black kid who's friends with Lucas. Oh gosh, I forgot his name too. I can't stand that guy. The one thing that gets on my nerves about adding a new character is that new character is either annoying or comic relief. And he's neither. He's just, well, he's annoying, but then he's not so much comic relief. There's really no reason for him to be there but be like the antagonist. He's gonna be the individual to break the group up just to get Lucas back on his team. And then he's gonna eventually leave off and probably be like, look, I'm done with this. I get it. They're your friends. I don't think I can handle this. I'm out. And he'll probably dip out too. I hope so. And I just leave it like a 4-click. And then as the grades start moving up, maybe they'll get better friends. And that's pretty much what happened in Boy Meets World. And I'm not saying go by the same formula, but that kid's annoying. I can't stand him. And I'm really like, why is he your friend? He gets you in trouble pretty much at every turn. Let alone he kind of makes fun of your friends right and left. And either way, I'm waiting for him to leave. That's just me. I don't think he's going to be there that long. Do you think they should start adding serious episodes to the show? Yes! Yes! I want some conflict. I want some drama. The one thing that was great about Boy Meets World back in the day is that during the 90s, it stated all the problems that a lot of teens in the 90s were going through. They touched on a lot of issues that you would never see on television, primetime TV at that. And that's pretty much what I want. I don't know a lot of kids, a lot of millennials for this day and age. I don't know what they're going through. I know that bullying definitely is a huge problem. It was a problem back then in the 90s. It's still a problem now. And I know that's something that they touched on, but that's a go-to easy thing. They need to touch on a lot more. The biggest thing that Boy Meets World touched on was sex. Pretty much virginity. It was throughout the entire season when Corey and Topanga were together. Will they or won't they? But they waited till they got married. Literally, it was about that. That was a huge portion of the show. And I really wish they do bring out issues besides playing it safe and going to bullying. They need to talk about a lot more than that. A lot more that some teens can relate to in this day and age. So I'm hoping they bring a lot more serious conflicts, a little bit more realistic, especially the fact between Maya and Riley. Besides the conflict of them, trying to figure out who they are, I just want a little bit of conflict. Something that's a little bit more realistic. Not so much about conflict within the team, but just issues that are out there that nobody wants to talk about, but they will actually talk about. But I talk too much about that. Will we ever see Angela guest star on the episode? Yes, we will. She is actually going to be on the episode of Girl Meets World. They've already mentioned her for this past episode when they had the whole week of season premieres. She's going to probably be towards the end of season 2. Because right now, Sean and Maya's mom are trying to get together, even though I think they're both fishes out of water at this point, and it's way too quick. I think they need to grow because they're both hurting. They're both suffering. They don't need to bring that into the relationship, and they don't need to try to force something to make something work. I think it should grow from there. But the thing is, he never fully got closure about Angela just up and leaving him. So that needs to happen first. And she needs to get closure from her husband leaving her. And after they get closure, then they'll be able to come together. But they got those two big thorns on their sides. And they need to let that go first before they get together. Right now, they're pushing them together. And I can't wait till Angela shows up. Probably towards the end of season 2. And I've talked too much about that too. Would you like to see Corey's little sister Morgan make an appearance? I forgot all about her. Really, they kept adding kids right and left. You forgot about the little brother. I totally forgot about the little brother until now. He's like in his teens, still living with his parents. I totally forgot about him. I even forgot about Morgan. But Morgan left for a while and then came back. It would be cool to see Morgan because I forgot he actually does have that Corey is the middle child now. I completely forgot. Yeah, I would really like to see Morgan. I would like to see the entire crew come back. It was great to see Mr. Feeney. We need to bring back the little sister. The little sister that was never mentioned ever again except for a few times. But then that's what happened to Minkus. Minkus kind of disappeared. But yeah, that would be cool too. Next set of questions comes from Nintendo Fanboy 1988. Have you heard that Scott Hall fell off the wagon? Oh, meaning he got drunk or high after 2 years of being sober. Thoughts on that? That's a shame. It really is. That happens. That happens to a lot of people who are trying to recover from an addiction. And all we could say is just pray for him and just give him the support that he needs. It happens to anybody. It doesn't mean that he's a failure. It just happens. And the best he can do now is just don't give up. So all we can do is just encourage him and just pray for him to, just pray for him to have a better recovery. Will Scott Hall become a full-time drunk? I don't know. Only time will tell, and I hope he doesn't. Thoughts on the New Day switching places to win 2 tag team matches? That sucked. I was not a fan. I thought that was a cop-out. And honestly, I really wish they won cleanly. And I really do hope that one day they'll make a decision on who should stay and who should go. Because having 3 members of a group with only 2 championships and Xavier Woods just comes in when he wants to, I think that's a bit of a cop-out. They really honestly and truthfully need to make up their mind, or at least give Xavier Woods a shot on his own title. So somehow they'll break up and the New Day will be 2 people and Xavier Woods will be his own guy. Because that's how he was when he left NXT, and now he ended up having to team up with 2 other guys. So I'm hoping that Xavier Woods actually does break off. But that whole roll-up thing, the whole roll-up with him, Xavier Woods posing as Kofi, sucked. I wasn't happy at all. And I still don't like the New Day. What gimmick or gimmicks have downright offended you? Oh, can we say the New Day and Crime Time? Yeah, everybody thinks that Crime Time's fun. It's the biggest stereotype there is, and they played on it to the hilt. I couldn't wait for it to be over, and those guys were awesome. They were awesome, and they were fun at one time, but they got really annoying. Like, out in the ring when Shad became Shadrick something, and then you had JTG. They actually came out there, but the whole selling people stuff and going in and raiding people's lockers and selling it for $1. Nah, man, that ain't hustling. That's just thievery. Sorry, and it wasn't fun at all. New Day offends me enough because it's a big stereotype about black people. I don't know what they're trying to do. Especially, it just sounds like it's all Atlanta-based, and I think most of them are Atlanta-based. So it just makes sense. It's one big walking stereotype. Not every single black person has to... Never mind, I'm not getting into that. I'm really not. I'm moving on from there. What if the WWE became New Day and Maria Menounos show? Y'all really tried to annoy me with the Maria Menounos questions. If it did, I would stop watching. Let's just put it that way. Moving on to John Cunt. What was the best and worst host for Raw in your opinion? Oh gosh, all of them? Every single guest host there was should not be a guest host. I'm sick of guest hosts. They were all bad. They all sucked. The worst one was Wiz Khalifa. Seriously. Wiz Khalifa probably didn't even know where he was half the time. And not to mention we had an impromptu performance when we really didn't want to have one. Dude, how broke are you for the fact that you got to perform on Raw? Aren't you supposed to be doing world tours? Don't you got a job to do by making money, by being a rapper in other places? Seriously, how broke are you to have a performance on Raw? And people are like, oh no, it's in LA. Still, they really do need to get rid of the guest hosts, no longer have them, because they don't bring anything to the show at all. They only have a segment that lasts 5 minutes, or they come out and then talk about their movie for 5 minutes and then they vanish. And not to mention, WWE pays them to show up. So technically, if they got rid of all the guest hosts, they'll probably save a lot of money. So yeah, they're all a waste of time, and they're all the worst in my opinion. There's no best. They're all the worst. People probably say Hugh Jackman was the best from the fact that he clocked Dolph Ziggler in the nose. Yeah, I will say Hugh Jackman was the best out of all of them, but everybody else sucked. I was done with it. But anyway, moving on from there. Thoughts on Kylie Jenner's big plum lips? Care less. I could care less about the Jenners or the Kardashians at this point. I will say this. I used to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and Khloe will forever be my favorite after watching that show. But I'm kind of done with it. It's overhyped. It's overdone. I'm kind of waiting for it to be finished. Seriously. I'm not really waiting at all. I don't even watch the show anymore. But it's some people's guilty pleasure. It used to be mine, but I just don't watch it anymore. But I will say but as for Kylie's lips, I don't care. Not much at all. Why is such a I'm really not a religious freak. And no need to be rude, but no, I'm not a religious freak, and I'm not religious. I'm not overly pious to where I will throw the book at anybody that doesn't believe what I believe. So no, I am not a religious freak, let alone being religious. So I'm just going to correct you on that. And as for Bruce Jenner becoming a woman, like I said, it's his choice. We do have free will. We do have free choice. I don't agree with what he's doing, but that's his body, his decision. Well, his body is, I'm not going to get into all that, but I will say this. The Lord still loves him enough to give him free will and to make his own decision on what he does with his body. So he made the decision to become a woman. If the Lord loves him still, then why should it matter what I think? Because he still loves him regardless. So in this case, he made the decision to be a woman. There you go. I got no beef with him. He made that decision. But either or, moving on from there. What does it make you believe in God? What have you been fed all your life to believe in God? I've been fed the truth. That's all I can pretty much tell you. I'm not trying to offend anybody by my beliefs, but I've been fed the truth. I'm gonna be honest with you. Throughout my entire life, there were reasons that I was very confused and wondered why God would allow this. But honestly, I'm gonna be real with you here. He's in control. He knows what's going on. Through good times and through bad. Throughout my life, there were things that I have been fed that have not been true. There were things that I have been taught in school that taught in church that was not true. But now, when I got a little bit older, I was blessed to be able to encounter a grace preacher named Pastor Prince, Pastor Joseph Prince, who definitely speaks the truth and knows the truth and doesn't persecute you. He just wants to feed you more because he's led. So honestly, I have been led, I have been fed well, and it's not the fact that I'm, a religious freak or anything, but I have been fed the truth. I have been fed the true gospel. There you go. Why does WWE build up and why does WWE build up incoming stars only to feed them to the Cena monster? Why does WWE build up incoming stars only to feed build up and coming stars? My bad. Okay. Cena, you can't really say that about Cena anymore. You can't. I'm sorry. A lot of people keep saying, oh, Cena's tearing everybody down. I'm going to be real with you. John Cena hasn't had a decent championship in nearly a year. He has been literally put to the back burner to Roman Reigns. He hasn't been fed anybody to squash. So, and if you actually have a match with John Cena, it's been a darn good one. And a really good match really does showcase what good talent you are. And it gives others the incentive, it gives those behind the scenes the incentive to push you further. So Cena hasn't really been hasn't really been destroying anybody's career. The same thing with this whole Kevin Owens fight. I really do believe that this fight with Kevin Owens is going to go well in Kevin Owens' favor. That's just me. That's how I feel personally. And actually, after watching Raw last night, and I do have a Raw review that I've already done, and I just need to put it up. It had Triple H all over it. Not to mention that it was nothing but NXT stars all over the place. They're literally building up and coming stars. They're thinking about the future finally. So you really can't say they're feeding them to Cena, because Cena got dealt with by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens drilled him to the ground. You really cannot say that John Cena is taking people down when he got taken down. So honestly, I don't agree with that. I don't think John Cena's feeding on people anymore. I don't think he's taking people down. I think John Cena is getting knocked down a peg. Seriously, I really think he is. And I think he's actually stepping back for the future. That's just me. But anyway, moving on to my last set of questions from I Love Watermelons 525. Do you think Daniel Bryan should become a part of should become a part-time like Brock Lesnar and Undertaker due to injuries? The only problem with Daniel Bryan is that Daniel Bryan is in bad shape. His neck is jacked up. His whole body's jacked up because he barely had any rest. He can't even be a part-timer. He has issues with his shoulder, nerve damage. He has problems. He really can't wrestle anymore. And I don't know what they're going to do with him unless have him be a trainer. But that's all they can have him be. Him getting back in the ring? No, I advise against it. When do you see Brie Bella retiring? She may retire. There's a huge rumor that she's going to retire towards the end of the year. There's a rumor that she may retire sometime this year or sometime next year because she wants to plan a family with Daniel Bryan. Especially if Daniel Bryan has enough health to where he'd be able to even walk around and play with his kids. She wants to be able to enjoy her husband as well as enjoy her family. And I understand she may leave at any time. I have no idea. But if she does, I wish her well. Because every woman in my opinion, should have a family if they really want it. I feel that every woman should deserve to have a family. That's just me. Where's your boy Sting? I don't care. I really don't care. Like I said, he had that one match and he was done. Unfortunately, it wasn't with Taker, and Taker wasn't good enough. He probably dipped out. I doubt he's coming back. What Maria? I would not be happy, and I'm not gonna even say that. Thoughts on Ghetto Mama? Okay, I would say she's more hood than ghetto, but thoughts on Naomi? I like Naomi's new style. I like Naomi's new attitude. I love the shoes. I like the fact that Naomi is finally taking charge. What she wants to do, she will go there and get it. That's the one thing I admire about her. I really do. And I love the fact that she has a legitimate gripe on why she became a heel. It wasn't anything random like, I'm going to take what's mine. Well, that's pretty much what she said. But either or, it's just because she had a legitimate gripe. So I'm really loving this new heel. And I didn't particularly like her so much as a face, except for when she was a fuckadactyl. That was cool. But I'm really enjoying her now as a heel, and I'm hoping that one day she will get that championship win on that pay-per-view that she deserved. And I'm hoping it's on the Big Four, because that'll be a huge payoff for her. And your final question for me is, which is more stereotypical, Crime Time or New Day? Ooh, Crime Time. Even though New Day is annoying, and yeah, they're a big, huge walking stereotype, but they're more of a modern stereotype, while Crime Time is more of a 90s stereotype. So either or, they're both huge stereotypes, but by far Crime Time, by far. But guys, thank you so much for sending me questions. By all means, if you have any more questions to send me, send them to me via YouTube or on Twitter at RKH30, hashtag NatureGirlQ&A. It's NatureGirl30 signing off. Peace out, y'all. Later.